we have Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat of Florida, joining me now from Orlando. Senator, wonderful to have you on. Thanks for joining me.
Well, it's a hallelujah day, not only for Alan, but we now have 2 Americans home in that exchange. And then a whole bunch of other things are going to happen in the future, as you just heard.
Let me get to the other things in a second. But first, Senator, I'd love just to hear your gut reaction to seeing Mr. Gross there. Almost jovial, joking, maybe cracking jokes here. He's been in a Cuban prison for 5 years. He's back on U.S. soil. He's got his popcorn and his corned beef and rye sandwich on the plane. I mean, what did you make of what we just witnessed there?
Just amazing. The American spirit is alive and well, even though they subjected him to such brutal conditions. So this is a hallelujah day. And by the way, when he gets around to finding out about all those people that helped, President Martelly of Haiti, at my request, went in a state visit to Raul Castro and asked for Castro, this is a couple of years ago, to release him. And at that point, Castro told him, we want to talk to the U.S. government. So indeed, there were a lot of people that were helping out.
You know, I hear you're singing hallelujah, but there are a couple of Republicans who definitely are. You have Senator Marco Rubio. It's a lifeline for the Castro regime that will allow them to become more profitable. The embargo is leverage. These sanctions are leverage. Jeb Bush, I don't think we should be negotiating with a repressive regime to make changes in our relationship. Senator Graham, this is an incredibly bad idea. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm as anti-Castro as any of them. And I think this is a step in the right direction. It's time for us in the 21st century to move on. But this, of course, is conditioned upon Raul's willingness to give freedom to the Cuban people. Now, he released some dissidents. We're going to start these negotiations about recognizing Cuba. Let's see if he's going to give freedom of speech and of the press and freedom of assembly. Let's see if this really happens. And if so, there will be an economic renaissance between the United States and Cuba, and especially my state of Florida.
It's incredible to think. My mother grew up in Miami. It's incredible to think of what, you know, her generation witnessed and sort of maybe this changing of the tide. But the other part of the story that absolutely fascinates me, and this is something I watched Raul Castro's address at noon. I watched the President Obama's address. I understand that the Pope was involved. You know, the Vatican, Senator Nelson, you know, facilitated some of these talks. Can you tell me any more about the involvement of Pope Francis? And do you think that helps give, we mentioned the criticism, you know, a little political cover for President Obama?
The Pope was. I have that on direct information. And again, it's showing what an extraordinary man this new Pope is. Not only is he remaking the Catholic Church, but he is really putting his efforts at peace where his mouth is, and he's making it happen. And now we need to turn him to the Middle East and on
right.
on many other troubled spots of the world.
Final question, Senator, from all the people asking me on Twitter, let me pose it to you. When can everyone finally go to Cuba?
Well, give Secretary Kerry some time to negotiate this. Let's see if they are genuine in the Cuban government. That they're going to start giving freedom to their people, and then we can start going to Cuba.
All right. Senator Bill Nelson from Florida, thank you so much, sir, for joining me today on
Thanks, Brooke.
Historic moment.